So let's start at the beginning, Todd. So who is Xyratex and who do you help?
I think largely a storage solutions provider to the global marketplace. And then I think with regard to who we help, it is directly a series of OEMs or partners, but most importantly, working with users to solve business problems.
So Todd, you mentioned some changes in go-to-market, and can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's been exciting, and I think it'll continue to be. Our changes, our go-to-market strategy, our partners, the OEMs we deal with, and the markets we serve are changing largely because of the environment with regard to user requirements, with regard to how people create, retain, store, and retrieve data. Whether it's mobile devices, whether it's virtual file systems, whether it's the change from what used to be mainframe class storage to mid-range, and SAS versus SAN, etc. So a tremendous amount of movement with regard to the market. And so when you look at those changes, then you have to align your go-to-market very equally to adopt and adapt your business. So I think the key thing that I would say is we've got in our cluster store business a significant amount of changes with regard to the partnerships we've developed in the last year. So early in the program, we were really happy to sign the relationship with Cray, and that proved to be a very, very good decision for both companies, and that we were able to work together to install the largest and fastest file system anywhere in the world at one of our joint customers. But later in the year, we also brought on board HP and Dell with incremental reseller and partnership relationships, including several other regional or vertical resellers throughout North America and Western Europe. And very excited about going into 2013 that we've got the channels, the go-to-market, the support, and working with them to build up the enablement, the training, and the capabilities of those businesses.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, because both Dell and HP certainly had storage offerings for HPC already. What do you think attracted them to Xyratex as a partner?
It all starts with intellectual property. It all starts with innovation. I mean, that's really where the basis to our discussions are. But where we have, I think, a benefited position in both cluster store as well as where we are in our storage business, and hopefully as we advance into the cloud offerings that we're going to bring to bear later in the year, is that being first to market with unique technology that helps them advance their systems or their capabilities with their customers. So having the technological capability, building the trust that we can do it, and as important, having the ability to demonstrate that we can help them get to market quicker, have higher ASPs, have a better leverage in the markets they serve. So that's one of the technological components. I think secondly, it goes back to the relationship once you get that agreement, is bringing those products to their market, working through their processes and their general availability and their systems, their manufacturing and operational models, having the capabilities to work with them as a partnership. And 1 + 1 = 3 in that scenario.
I'm just curious, does the addition of the professional services offering that you guys are bringing to the market, does that help with what you just described?
In markets,
yeah,
and with certain partnerships, especially with new initiatives, many of the customers are looking at how do they deploy, how do they grow their business as fast as possible, how do they hire the resources, train the resources necessary to be successful. And a professional services offering is very, very important to the end-use customer and deploying new solutions, especially when they're first to market. So I do believe that's an opportunity for Xyratex. But you also have to couple that with the change of what you would have called almost your only traditional OEM market to now having partnerships and reseller agreements in place where we're almost expected to bring that level of value to the relationship. And they encourage you to do that because it helps them be successful with the overall solution.
That's terrific. I mean, you think about the three big names, and well, besides Big Blue, right? Mm-hmm. You got them all lined up. That's terrific. That's
well, and also then you can then peel that off for the financial side and say, you heard reseller, you heard partnership, you heard vertical solution, you heard professional services.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Basis points.
Yeah,
and now we got to deliver against it, but at least you laid the seeds.
Primary routes to market for Xyratex and how they changed.
If you can ask that one, I'd love it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the only question on here that's any good.
Okay, so Todd, what are the primary routes to market for Xyratex and how have they changed?
Primary routes to market past up to today have been very, very traditional branded OEMs. In the cluster store business have been OEMs, partnerships, resellers, and we've talked about that earlier. But going forward, probably some really, really unique changes in the market space that I think will have an effect on the go-to-market. Not that it will change them from one to the other, But more importantly, what we're seeing is the entire distribution, product cycle, capture is so radically different going forward because of the cloud. And when I say that, it's really directed towards what the providers in the business have traditionally thought would have been a customer and or didn't even exist as a customer, i.e. the big six, i.e. the new data centers being built out as service providers, feel, look, and act a lot more like an OEM customer than we've ever seen in the past. So that buying cycle, that pattern, that disruption in the supply chain is creating actually an incremental opportunity for the company. And so we do see service providers as an opportunity. We do see some of the mega data center players, the big six, as being an alternative route to market for our products. Early in the stages, but there are signs that those are a tremendous opportunity for the company.
So Todd, while we're talking, I want to ask you about big data and how do you think Xyratex might approach that market, or are you guys thinking about that, or what direction are you headed?
Well, as you and anyone else we would all agree, tremendous opportunity. It's about analytics. It's about understanding what's in the information, not just flow and restoration and capability to store. So that is clearly an opportunity for Xyratex and many companies. I will say that we view our initial efforts with our file system and our complete solution going from what traditionally has just been the HPC market to now include aspects of big data. So there is a natural migration of those capabilities. So I think there's clearly some opportunity for the company. You will see us execute on that, or some initial execution on that during the year. We've announced publicly the inclusion of big data with the word HPC. But I think more importantly, I would take an opportunity to say, to us, that's ClusterStor. ClusterStor is a solutions business. ClusterStor is a partner-driven, sell with partner, go-to-market kind of I goofed on that one. You got to edit.
Okay.
So I'll just start. ClusterStor is a solutions business. ClusterStor gives us the ability to take a finished product and work with our partners directly to the user. It is clearly an opportunity with big data to advance that. We're not too far off in the technological innovation and the capabilities in the business with additional investment and additional development efforts, but very excited about the opportunity. So I think you'll hear a lot more from us as we move through 2013 about what we can and will do there.